Hey guys, so I don't follow the news much, and so I just read this morning about an incident of another train derailing in Ohio for the second time in a month. Um, and it made me wonder, like, why is this still happening? Like, what sorts of things cause train derailments? And so I was looking it up, and I was rather surprised by some of the small things that can derail a train. In some cases, trains are able to drive over larger obstacles or trees or whatever and be okay, and they don't derail, but it's not worth the risk because in other instances, relatively small cracks in the railroad track or it being just a little off of alignment can cause, devastating destruction and injury and long-term, repercussions. And I started wondering, like, what sorts of things am I doing that derail me and my efforts and progress in life? And one of them was rather apparent recently when I like to work at my dining room table. And so I set my laptop up there, and it's right along the hallway. And so I have my laptop cord, the charger plugged into the wall, but it's kind of strung across the hallway. And I feel like when I don't have my kids with me, it's fine. I don't have to worry about the hazard for them. It's just myself that has to remember. And so I've walked past that cord so many times successfully and thinking, oh, it'll be fine. And then other times I keep tripping over it. I don't see it there. And it just kind of blends in well with the floor. I have dark colored floors. And, especially when I'm not looking down and I have other stuff on my mind, I keep tripping over it. And I kept thinking, okay, I'm going to get used to it being there. I'm not going to move it because I like the way the room is set up. I don't want to have to turn my chair around or face a different way. Like, it's just where the easiest plug is. And for my own convenience, I decided to just keep doing what I was doing, and I would remember better next time. But I didn't, and I kept tripping over and over. And luckily, I didn't totally kill my laptop, but I had some close calls with it, getting slammed against the ground and stuff when it got, jerked as the cord pulled it off the table. And so I finally just wisened up, and after tripping on it like 10 times, I finally just, changed the location of where I plugged it in. And, the same thing, like, if we don't address and fix the things that are sabotaging us in life that we think we will be able to do better, like say with our diets or something, like we come home from work, we're tired, we're hungry, and we just grab the closest thing in the pantry, some Oreos or whatever else, and say we've been doing so good up until that point, and then one little thing like that can cause us to kind of derail. And not that we should give up, but we need to set ourselves up for success. If we don't remove, the laptop cord, if we don't remove the source of things that we know have been an incident in the past, say now that the train industry, the railroad industry knows of some of these hazards, they should really be addressed. Like these things can be preventable, either, it's excess speed or a crack in the tracks or overheated wheel bearings or some of the other things I was reading about. In large measure, these are preventable. And so we shouldn't just determine, okay, I'll do better next time. I was weak, I was hungry, I was tired, I'll do better next time. We need to set ourselves up for success. We can't just expect, like, okay, hopefully this will be one of the times the train goes over the tree and doesn't derail, or hopefully I'll be stronger today because I learned my lesson from yesterday, whether it's, in regard to diets or personal, principles or goals that we're working at. We need to set up our environment for success and fix any cracks in the track, or make adjustments to get back in alignment with where we want to go. If we were to even adjust a train track by a couple of inches, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that couple of inches continuing to go in the wrong direction over a long period of time can cause totally different results. That train's going to end up in a completely different city than its intended course, and so the same with us. Like, it was easy for me when I had gotten down to my goal weight or whatever, and this talk is not supposed to be about whether Debbie needs to, like, lose weight or be on a diet or whatever, because I'm not right now, and that's not the point. But when I had gotten to my goal weight in the place where I was wanting to be at, I started making excuses like, oh, like I can have a little chocolate here or a little cake there, or eat this thing that isn't good for me. And mind you, I'm a believer of, moderation in all things, so I'm not against junk food. But if it's something, say like that I know doesn't make my body feel good, and I cheat a little here and there, then it becomes easier to do that more often. Like then the next day I'm like, oh, just, I'm still within my goal weight, like another bite or two won't hurt. And then suddenly I notice I start developing cravings for sugar and carbs and stuff again. And suddenly my palate changes and I want that junk food all the time instead of like craving the healthier, shakes or proteins and stuff that I should be eating. And so, when we compromise our personal, principles or actions against what we know we should be doing, we may not think it's going to have any long-term repercussions, and maybe one time won't, but it just allows us to kind of be lazy and excuse ourselves. And down the line, we're going to realize what a big impact that had when, we end up with different results than where we want to be. And so, I just encourage all of us to kind of like analyze our weak points, analyze where we may have some things that need addressing, and then work to just set ourselves up for success by, setting our environment up for success so we don't keep running into the same obstacles and impediments to improvement.